Hey, Will, how are you, bud?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing great, doing great.
Well, great. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, and congratulations on this latest project of yours.
Thank you.
I was curious, were you at all familiar, with the investigation story at all, before jumping into this movie?
I actually was, dude. I was filming I'm glad you brought this up. I was shooting a TV show in Albuquerque 4 years ago called Deputy. And this story, this particular case that this kind of inspired by, was on the local news. I just so happened to be watching it. And because I fell in love with Albuquerque and New Mexico in general, and the people and the culture, just it's just so special. Um, So I was intrigued by this news story. I was on their local news. It had to do with this case about new evidence and something that came up. And then literally like the same week, I saw a whole special thing on Dateline about it,
Yeah.
or 2020, one of those. Um, and there was just this story that, that just was so intriguing and interesting and fascinating to me. And I was obsessed to where I Googled it and I did some research on the lead detective, the female lead detective. Her name is escaping me. But her story and her journey was interesting because for multiple reasons. And then for this to in while I was filming Deputy, our writer Vincent McDaniel worked craft service. He was helping out with Crafty for like a week, and that's how we met. And he's like, I was like, I'm a writer. I'm just doing this to help my friend out, but I really like you and I like your acting and you seem like a good dude. And so we struck up a friendship and he's like, we're gonna work together someday. Dude, 3 years, 4 years later, the script comes across, across my proverbial desk. But and it was from Vinny. And so, it was quite special that it came full circle like that. So yeah. So was I aware of this story? Very much so. And
Yeah.
about yeah.
Well, yeah, that's such an interesting story. I mean, yeah, that's, a lot of the times you hear, "Oh no, I had no idea," and I learned so much, and you already had a leg up, to put it mildly.
Well, I had spent time, I played a deputy on deputy. I said that I got to spend a lot of time with the Albuquerque Police Department, the APD, and to hang out and meet some of the
Yeah.
real life detectives
Yeah.
who helped us out with that show and struck up a relationship. So I had I had a head start.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then, during production of Boneyard, I mean, was a lot of that shot like in Albuquerque, sort of on location?
To be no, to be honest, we filmed in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Did some exteriors and shots in Albuquerque, but the majority of the film was filmed in Las Vegas to make it look like Albuquerque. I was
Yeah.
bummed. I would no disrespect to Vegas, but I love Albuquerque. I would have loved to film in Albuquerque.
Right. Yeah, no, it's all good. Just curious. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, in addition to yourself, I mean, some wonderful actors in this movie. I was curious. I mean, I was trying to, go through your sort of endless filmography, trying to figure out if you had worked with, Mel Gibson, 50 Cent, any of these guys before. Was this a first time for a lot of them?
First time with Mel, second film with 50. 50 and I did Den of Thieves together. So
Oh, right. Okay.
I
Yeah.
met him. I met him. We didn't have too many scenes together, but we got to spend some time in Atlanta. And this was number two.
Yeah.
Mel, this is the first time I worked with Mel. I'm trying to remember. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm trying to think if I met him in the past. I don't think so. We have so my first time working with him and meeting him. What a pleasure. What an honor too. Like he's so good. To Mel Gibson. He's a legendary director and actor and filmmaker. Um, but he came to set and he was all about the work and totally committed, invested. I learned a lot from him. We got to write a couple scenes together, change and mix it up. And I know it was an honor to be writing a scene with Mel Gibson was pretty special.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and funny, man. He says it's an intense film. But sometimes he'd keep it light. And he would riff. Uh, he's got a lot of jokes, and he's a very funny man and very
Yeah.
witty. He had us laughing, on and off the set, in scenes and then in between takes. Uh, So it is special. I really enjoyed working with Mel, and obviously I would do, 20 more films with him if I could.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I interviewed a young actress who, yeah, I knew she was in a movie with Mel, and like that was the first thing she said. She was like, "Oh, he was hilarious. Like he was always cracking jokes." And you know, I just know he's a great actor, but I don't know anything behind the scenes, and so it's like now here you are saying, "Oh yeah, he's a funny dude." It's just noticing a trend here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's good like that.
Yeah.
He'll make you break.
Yeah. Keeping you on your toes. Yeah.
He keeps you on your toes, man. You got to be, yeah. But he's awesome. I love Mel.
Well, that's great. That's good to know. I also wanted to ask, I covered for this outlet, I watched Lawmen Bass Reeves and I interviewed David Oyelowo and Chad, the creator.
Love those guys.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
Chad. Love David. I mean, I love them.
yeah. And you're playing Braxton. I was curious what that experience was like and if you've heard anything about, doing more with the show or if there's anything you'd like
It's
to share. I mean,
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that was that's what I filmed. I filmed that, and I went straight from that set to this to Boneyard. Um,
okay.
hence the shaved head, the beard, the way
Yeah.
yeah, saw Bass Reeves that episode. But Braxton Sawyer was, um, what if part got a lot of it got cut out for time wise, but he was supposed to may or may come back next season if there is one. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to Chad or David about it. But I would do it in a second. What an honor to work with David Oyelowo and Chad. Chad does again the writing and to do scenes with David. He's one of my favorite actors. He's so talented.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been lucky like that. I've been so fortunate. Rolling from that to go work with Mel. Um, but yeah, that was a special show. I love that show, and I hope they bring it back for more. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, though.
Yeah. I hope they do too. I thought it was great. I mean, yeah, I thought it was wonderful. I loved chatting with them, hearing more about it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Well,
Um,
some of the stuff got cut out. I mean, I guess I can reveal now, but in the original, I saved the day. I saved, Bass's Bass. I saved Bass's ass, as they say. They
yeah,
cut that part out. Anyway, but hopefully, if it comes back, we'll bring Braxton Sawyer back. That was fun.
yeah, yeah, I hope so. That's good to know. Um, And I also wanted to ask, we're coming up almost, 25 years. You were, in a pair of great war movies that came out around the same time, Black Hawk Down, Windtalkers, people are still talking about those movies and, they're always, playing on TV, and yeah, they're wonderful. And I was curious if you have anything, years later, decades later, anything you'd like to share about, looking
There's
back on the time period. I mean, were those
First
sort
of all,
of
I can't
shot
believe it's been that long. I can't
Yeah,
believe it's been that long. It seems like yesterday, and I'm just like, holy schmoly, I can't. I'm 20, 25 years. That's a long time. I don't feel that
yeah,
old. Um, I need, man, yes, I'm still friends with a lot of those guys that I did Black Hawk Down with, Windtalkers, Basic, SWAT, even Confidence is not a war film, but but yes, I mean I just watched Black Hawk Down not too long ago, and that movie still holds up,
oh
still
yeah,
good. And I love working with Ridley. What a special! I got to know Ridley a little bit during that film. Spent time with him and Sam Shepard, and
oh yeah,
uh, so super cool. I mean, again, I've been very grateful and very fortunate. I mean, that I've gotten to do those kinds of movies with such talent. And so that's what makes it so special. And reflecting back, I just I can't help but feeling just gratitude, and I'm just blessed.
yeah.
And hopefully we can do it again. But yeah, I'm still really tight with a lot of the guys that I shot those films with. Still friends.
That's great. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there something else you're working on at the moment you can share about? Anything?
I mean, if I get it, there's a film coming out. I'm not sure when it's going to be released, called Copperhead. My buddy directed it, wrote and directed it. It's more of an independent film. And then don't have a start date yet, but the next project will be hopefully if it gets greenlit, we get the money. You know, I'm gonna play like a washed up musician
Yeah.
that has a lot of demons. Um, I like to play characters with a lot of demons, apparently.
Yeah. Well, those, I mean, like it's I feel funny saying it, but those are fun characters to watch, it's,
Yeah, it's fun to play too. You know, it's a lot of sometimes it's cathartic and therapeutic to
right, right, right.
tap into your shadows, as they say.
Yeah. Well, I just saw recently again after all these years the Gus Van Sant, what was it called? Where it was in the
Got my
third
own private.
in his death trilogy where it's loosely based off Kurt Cobain, Final
Ooh,
Day,
what's that?
Last Days or something.
Right.
Gus Van Sant, yeah. So anyways, yeah, Last Days. Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, talk about, musician with inner
That's
demon.
good. I got to revisit that. It's a good call. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me. That's a good.
Yeah, it came out in 2005. Yeah, that was a
Wow,
good one. That
that
was a
is good.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. That's on the list right now.
Yeah, there you go. But cool. But yeah, I mean, in the meantime, I mean, it's such a powerful, crazy story, Boneyard. I mean, people are gonna see this and I think, like you said, be reminded, like, oh yeah, I remember seeing like that, 2020 special about this and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's a I think it's a good film and it turned out really well. And it is a thriller and it's a murder, mystery, crime drama, all that stuff. But it's based on truth and in real cases. And
Yep.
let's hope that it can have a positive, outcome. We can bring more attention to some of these unsolved cases and, bring some attention and awareness to how, the problem with human trafficking and the missing women of not just Albuquerque and New Mexico, but, across the nation and the globe. The real problem. So hopefully they can have some positive, uh, outcome or response to it by bringing more awareness and, you know, because it's an intense subject and it can get, sure it's difficult and triggering for, the real families and the victims and whatnot. But
Right.
um, so hopefully there is something positive will come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Well, great. Well, thank you. That's all the time I have, but it was very nice to meet you, Brian. And I
Hey,
hope
likewise. I
hope
appreciate your time. Thank you.